Jake, happy Saturday, man. It's always good to be on here. How you doing, man? Well, we were talking before. I can't believe this. You've been to every Knicks playoff game this season. I cannot be more jealous. I'm all the way over here in Dallas. So maybe I'll go to a finals game, OKC San Antonio, but I could not be more jealous of that. But it's good to be on with you, man. Exciting times in the
Honestly, for you, it's probably going to be way cheaper if you could drive to either of those road cities than it would be to go to the Garden and fly, hotel, all that. I mean, you'll save money if you just drive to OKC or San Antonio.
I think I was looking into it. Tickets are going to be around like close to the $1,000 mark, and I don't even want to look at MSG because I'm sure that's $5,000 to get in the building at MSG. Like I'm not even that sounds ridiculous. But maybe I'll find a way to go to one of these finals games here.
I hope you do, and if you do, we're going to be living through you as the Knicks will start their journey on Wednesday. We got a Game 7 tonight, so we'll see if they play either San Antonio or OKC. Let's start with this, Mike. So the Jets wrapped up the first open OTA. They'll have more coming over the following weeks. But the biggest thing I think that we learned from OTAs is that Kenyon Sadiq will not be participating in any of them because he's dealing with a hernia injury that required surgery. Yesterday on my Jets Collective podcast with ESPN's Rich Cimini and Brandon Tierney, Rich provided an update on what he has heard about Sadiq. I'll play the full clip, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
I got a question here, and again, I'm not trying to cause problems, but when Aaron just said we knew about it, okay, that's good. So you go in eyes wide open, got it, and you elected not to have it during rookie minicamp. Wouldn't you rather have it a month or so ago so he's ready for OTAs, so the timeline is more absolute being ready for training camp? I mean, why are we waiting on this?
Yeah, a couple of things there. One, he played with it last year at Oregon. He actually missed a game because of it, fought through it for a number of games during last season. So everyone knew about it during the draft process. And I think the thought originally was maybe he would try to get through the year with it, play. And so after rookie minicamp, they just decided, let's just get it done now. And he will be ready for training camp. Okay. I've been told there's absolutely no doubt he will be ready for training camp. He was there yesterday. He was on the sideline watching every drill. I'm sure he's taking the mental reps, like, coaches love to use that phrase, they taking mental reps. But it's a little bit of a concern because of all the reasons you guys just mentioned. This is a rookie who has not played a lot at that position. These are important mental reps, and not mental reps, the physical reps to be out there on the field, running routes, catching passes from Geno Smith. That's important. That's why they do this stuff in the spring. They don't do it for fun. And so he's going to be a little bit behind when he gets to training camp. There's no doubt about it, but he will be ready for training camp.
So, Mike, what do you make of those comments there from Rich? He says that his sources told him Sadiq will be ready for training camp. Are you concerned as a Jet fan, or is that good enough for you to think, okay, I'll be all right?
It's funny, when this broke, I sit across from a guy at work who said he's had 3 of these, like 3 hernia deals. And he said, it was just about a month recovery time. So I'm not overly concerned, but it kind of said, like, as you guys mentioned there, like the fact that he's not getting these physical reps, like, yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's watching, but he's a rookie. Like, if this were Breece Hall, if this were Garrett Wilson, I'd be like, all right, this is almost a non-story. They'll be back in a month. No problem. They'll be back in July. Training camp will be all good to go. But the fact that it's a rookie and you want him to get in there as much as possible kind of does suck.
Look, anytime a guy is picked 16th overall, and before we even see him, he has to have some sort of surgery, I can understand why there's a lot of Jet fans who are like, huh, what? Or like, you got to be kidding me. If he's ready for training camp, though, I'm not concerned because I think there's enough time to get him ready for the start of the year. But if he's not ready for training camp, well, then this is a real issue because that's a position, again, that takes time for rookies to typically learn and be competent at the beginning of their careers.
Yeah, I had people down in my comments like, oh boy, like Sadiq has been already hit with the Jet curse. Like, this was a bad pick and just going totally overboard with it. Like, he was one of those picks. It's pretty polarizing between Jets fans because you look at it and you're like, well, we didn't need a tight end. But you look around the NFL, look at what the Rams did. Not only drafting Ty Simpson, they get Max Clare in the 2nd round. They had Terrence Ferguson, Tyler Higbee, Kobe Parkinson, Davis Allen. Like, good teams don't just draft for need. Like, I still like the pick of Sadiq, but I mean, he probably has the worst possible start to his Jets career that he could possibly. I mean, obviously there could be worse injuries, but the fact that he's going to be missing OTAs is I'm not too concerned about it right this moment, but hopefully it's not something that lingers. I know a groin was kind of mentioned. Aaron Glenn kind of slid it in there, but we'll see what happens with Sadiq. But it's an unfortunate situation to start out his Jet career.
The Jake Asman Show is now presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build your lineup in seconds. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And PrizePicks is already offering NFL futures, including futures for New York Jets players. Take a look at the lineup that you see on the screen. Garrett Wilson, more than 4.5 reception touchdowns. David Bailey, he's going to have at least 7 sacks his rookie year. Arvell Reese, almost a Jet. I think he'll have at least 3 sacks in his rookie year with the Giants. That is a 3-pick power play, $10 to pay out $60. That is just an example of some of the lineups you can make over at PrizePicks. Make your own lineups today for any sport. Just download the PrizePicks app, use the code HMA, and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup
Here on a Saturday. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Other things to hit on. Mike, OTAs, as far as injecting some hopium into the fan base, I think it did its job. Geno Smith up there talking about ending the playoff drought would be like a story in a movie. Garrett saying great things about the way Geno throws the ball, and every player who spoke saying great things about the Frank Reich offense. Offensively, let's start there. What were some of your thoughts on OTAs from an offensive perspective?
Yeah, I'd say that was my biggest takeaway. I didn't know if you were going to mention it, but the Frank Reich, the fact that Garrett is praising him, Geno is praising him, it's a cool thing to see. You know, they're talking about his experience, just the respect that he's garnered over his NFL career. That's been really cool. Cade Klubnik went 8 of 8, so obviously he'll be the one that leads us to the Super Bowl, maybe 27, maybe 28. But it's hard not to get excited about a guy like Cade, just what he could be and what he could maybe be for the Jets this season if Geno wasn't going to play well, if the Jets are, let's say, out of playoff contention. It's hard not to get excited because Cade is doing all the right things right this moment. I'm well aware it's May 30th, but it is cool to just have that excitement around the team again with a young quarterback like Klubnik.
Geno Smith feeling good, being back with the Jets. I mean, storybook ending. Hollywood ending for Geno. This was Geno talking about that the other day.
People always love a great comeback story. So with you, have you allowed yourself to think like how cool it would be if you were the guy, to get this thing turned around here, considering you were here so many years ago and come back and like?
Yeah, I mean that'd be like a story in a movie, right? It's kind of like one of those superhero movies. But my life is based on reality, and we got to focus on, like I said, getting better every single day. God has blessed me to play in the league this long and to have an opportunity to come back here. I'm very, very grateful for that because they don't come too often. These opportunities, you have to cherish them. And that's the way I look at it. I really cherish this opportunity. I really look forward to, again, just going to practice tomorrow and trying to get better. And that's the way I'm going to treat this entire year and the entirety of the rest of my career.
Jet up, baby.
Jet up. Let's go.
You buying the Geno Smith redemption story, Mike?
Oh, man, I really, really, really hope so, because I'm watching what the Knicks are doing, and I'm like, this could be like the Knicks were pretty damn similar to what the Jets were for all these years. Like, they're a joke of a team. They're in the basement of their own league. Nobody takes them seriously. I mean, I pray to God that Geno is the one that brings us back. Am I buying it? My record prediction was 7 wins. Did that when the schedule came out, but I hope so. I hope so. But I think, say what you want about Geno, but he's a good podium. He's a good podium quarterback for us.
He is so much more mature than he was his first go around with the Jets. It's like, you just see it.
I don't think he'll be punched in the jaw this time.
No, I'm not worried about anyone punching him or him punching anyone. I think he could be a good quarterback for this team. I do. I think if they protect him, he's got a chance to resemble a similar version of the player he was in Seattle. We actually talked about this on our collective podcast yesterday. Every quarterback, when they're pressured, their numbers are worse for obvious reasons. But Geno, it's stark. Like when he's protected versus when he's not, he has one of the bigger disparities in the league. And I think the one thing the Jets have is they have a pretty good offensive line in place.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about the O-line is the fact that Josh Myers is the center and Tippmann is playing guard. I wish we'd have taken guard more seriously, maybe in the draft or maybe in free agency. I know we got Parham, but still kind of that one thing about it. But 2 starting outside tackles, Fashanu and Membu. Like, this is the best offensive line that any Jets quarterback has walked into in, I don't know, man, since 2015. Like, it's been a long time since the O-line has been somewhat of a strength for this Jets football team. And not only that, he's got Garrett Wilson, he's got Omar Cooper, A.D. Mitchell. You will have Kenyon Sadiq eventually, Mason Taylor. Like, this is a genuinely decent situation for Geno to be walking into compared to last year. Historically bad offensive line that Vegas had. Yeah, you had Genty, yeah, you had Bowers, but horrible coaching, really bad offensive line, bad defense. Like, this is a much better situation for Geno to kind of right the ship for the Jets in 2026.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're talking all things Jets, OTAs. So we know Sadiq wasn't out there with the first team offense, but we did get a chance to see Jeremy Ruckert take his role and Jelani Woods take his role. The takeaway I have is not that those guys are playing next to Mason Taylor. It's that Frank Reich, I think, is going to use a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets on this offense this year.
No doubt about it. I mean, you don't draft Sadiq 16th. You already have Mason Taylor, who I thought could have been a tight end 1 in the NFL, like maybe a top 20-ish tight end 1 in football. Reich says, screw that. Like, we're going to, like, he'll be the best. He could be the best tight end 2 in football if he wants to be. And Sadiq, I don't think Woods is necessarily going to make this roster. I know he just signed like a 1-year kind of thing, and I think it was March, but I think he's an easy guy if we want to cut bait with him before the year. But right now, he can go out. Like, I mentioned him in like a OTA winners video just published this morning. Like, just the fact that he was able to go out there and actually get some real opportunity to run with the team, I think Woods could maybe prove like, hey, we could carry 4 tight ends this year.
I mean, look, I just think that's where the NFL's going. You brought up the Rams earlier. They use 3 tight end sets all the time. Yeah. My hope with Frank Reich is that he gets them in the right position. He's got the real plan for what they need. And the fact that they did hire some younger coaches that were with them at Stanford. Seth Ryan is on the staff, who was around Ben Johnson. There's enough innovation with the steadying adult in the room voice to actually form a competent offensive coaching staff.
Yeah, look, I mean, when we fired Engstrand, it was just one of those things. Like, I know for a fact this guy is going to go on to have NFL success because he didn't really get a fair shake with us. But Reich, like, I understand the thought process behind it. Bringing in an experienced guy, bringing in a guy who's actually helped quarterbacks develop. Like, I didn't absolutely hate the hire of Frank Reich. So, I mean, you see the respect that he's gotten from Geno. You see the respect that he's gotten from Garrett. You kind of are starting to see the vision of what he's going to do, what he's going to want to do with this offense, drafting a guy like Sadiq. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well. Hit the like button if you're joining us. We're talking with Mike Giarraputo from the Jet Report, which is with Chat Sports, breaking down all things New York Jets following, not even rookie, but following the first public OTA. Speaking of rookies, Cade Klubnik, will he ever throw an incompletion as a Jet, at least in the stats that the media was able to keep track of from the open practice? You'll see on the screen here, Cade Klubnik, 4-4 in 7-on-7 and was 4-4 in 11-on-11. Do we have our franchise quarterback, Mike?
Well, I mean, there's a QB1 battle now, I think. I look, my thing with Klubnik, and let me know what you think about this, because I was trying to figure out what the plan was with him when we drafted him, and I kind of came to a conclusion about a week ago. I think our plan with him is for him to be the week 1 starter, not this year, but in 2027. While we kind of develop that next quarterback in 27, you know, give that guy a little bit of time, learn from guys like Sam Darnold, learn from a guy like Zach Wilson, hell, learn from a guy like Geno Smith back in the day. But it was cool to see it. I mean, I think some of the throws, I think I saw a clip from your show yesterday. It was a guy who was there. I think Nick Faria was his name.
Nick Faria, yep.
Yeah, Nick Faria, excuse me. Just like, yeah, they were kind of just 5-yard completions, but it's just, you just see that on the screen. You're like, hey man, we could have our guy here.
I like the fact, I don't know about you, that they're just going to seemingly give him a real chance to be the backup quarterback from the jump.
Oh, he should be. As soon as this was labeled like open competition, I'm like, in what world are Brady Cook and Bailey Zappi going to beat this guy out? I saw Brady Cook play NFL football last year. I saw it. It was 2 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 11.6 QBR, and he didn't even throw for 150 yards a game. Like, I'm all good on Brady Cook. He can go down to the practice squad. He can get axed by this team. We didn't invest anything into him. He's an undrafted free agent. Like, I'm fine moving on from Cook. As soon as this was labeled open competition, conclusion I came to, Klubnik will absolutely win this job for us.
it just feels like they want him to. That's why they haven't signed any veteran backup quarterback. Zappy's played a little bit, but Klubnik could beat him out, and I think he's ultimately going to. I like that they're going to give him a lot of the reps here through OTAs, minicamp. And look, if he's not ready, you could sign someone before training camp in July.
Do you think Russ is still in consideration? Because we extended the offer out to him, and now he's mulling it between, he's between Jets backup quarterback or NFL Today on CBS. So I don't really know what he's thinking. I don't know who else is out there. I know Cooper Rush, Josh Dobbs. You could trade for a Will Levis, trade for an Anthony Richardson, but why would I want to see them play football over Cade Klubnik? I don't see the point to that, signing guys like that. I mean, maybe Russ, I understand because he's got the experience. He's a good guy to have in the room, but I don't really see the point in signing a Cooper Rush or a Josh Dobbs or trading for a Levis.
I think that offer's off the table. I do. I think
so?
it's
It's
Cooper
been too
Rush
long.
or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear a veteran quarterback talk about retirement and Russ being like,
Yeah.
well, I have an offer from the Jets and I'm also considering going to TV. Like, you're retired already, dude. And Russell Wilson was so bad last year when we saw him. Like, what's the point?
Mhm.
Just if I'm going to have to watch awful quarterback play, at least let me watch a guy we drafted so we could form a clear opinion on whether or not he could be anything for us going forward.
Yeah, because what the hell do you do if you go into 2027? Like, I think the Jets' plan with Klubnik is develop him to be a really good backup quarterback, or if it really works out, then you got a quarterback one of the future. You don't even have to worry in 2027. I don't really see that as a possibility, but I'd rather, as you said, I'd rather get excited to watch bad quarterback play than be like, God damn, I gotta watch Russell Wilson today play for the Jets.
Amen. Speaking of goddamn, by the way, the Jets signed free agent kicker Younghoe Koo. Cade York was the only veteran kicker they had. He's dealing with some sort of injury that will sideline him a week or so, according to Aaron Glenn. So part of the reason for signing Koo was they needed to add a healthy kicker. Plus, let's be honest, Cade York has not been very good the last couple of years. Koo hasn't either, but he at least has been a Pro Bowler at the beginning of his career. He's still a young guy in his early 30s. Your thoughts on the kicking situation right now? Koo, for what it's worth, according to reporters, did go 4-4 from field goal attempts at the OTA that was open to the media on Thursday.
Yeah, so I guess it's between Younghoe Koo, Cade York, and Lenny Krieg, and honestly, it's pretty disappointing because this is something that we should have taken more seriously. I think we should have signed, maybe just re-signed Nick Folk. He was good for us last season. I know he might not have the leg to make a 60-yarder, but at least he's reliable inside 50, and it kind of just pisses me off because we should still have Jason Myers on this football team. Thanks, Mike McCagnon, for leaving us with years and years of BS at the kicker position.
That's really where all this started. It's a great point. We don't talk enough about that. Like, Jason Myers could easily still be the Jets kicker right now.
Should be. I mean, this is just something that we don't. I feel like there's like one thing every offseason that we just cast aside and don't take seriously. And this year we chose for it to be kicker. And it's, as like, you saw it, you see it every year in the NFL. I don't think I'm making an insane discovery here, but kicking can win you games. It could lose you games. And we've seen it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before the show here, like Kyer Vedvik. If any Jets fans remember him, week 1 of 2019, missed the field goal, missed an extra point, cost us that game, our home opener against Buffalo. And I just know for a fact, I've been a fan of this team long enough to where I know kicking is going to cost us at least one game this season because we didn't take it seriously in the offseason.
Doesn't it always? It's just
always.
Some of these things are so preventable, and I think that's what's so frustrating. And again, I like a lot of what Muji has done, but it just came down to like $1 million reportedly, the difference between the Jets offer and the Falcons offer. How do you not find a way to get it done?
I don't understand that. Like, I really don't understand that. Just, you had a reliable kicker. You had a guy, Nick Folk, who probably wanted to be here. He returned to the Jets after all those years away. And now we're going to send him off to Atlanta. He's going to probably retire after the season. But you had somebody, and you just let him walk out of the door because you can't fork over another $1 million.
Staying with the special teams conversation, what was your reaction to seeing Herb Charles being traded?
Honestly, I had almost forgotten he was on the team. I know he missed all of last season, but he was a good gunner. I'm not trying to disrespect Herb Charles, but because he was a good gunner for us, back in 24. He's one of the best special teamers in football at that position. But I mean, as soon as I saw his Instagram story, like, oh, I'm out of there. I'm like, all right, like, F off. Like, all right, see you later. Like, I do think it bodes well for a guy like Arian Smith, who might have been on the roster bubble. Maybe I'm being a little bit too extreme, but he was decent on special teams last year, so maybe he'll carve out more of a role. But it was surprising, I guess. Like the fact they were even able to get anything for a guy like that, a special teamer who's off a torn ACL, was pretty surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big takeaway is he wasn't going to make the Jets, so they were trying to get anything for him. And shout out to Muji. I don't know how many phone calls he had to make before someone was like, "Yep, we'll give you a 2028 conditional 7th," but he got it done. That must have taken a couple hours of calling people.
Yeah, you know how many trades that is for Muji?
What is the total now? Do you have it in front of you?
It is now 13 trades that Muji has made.
Wow.
Since, I guess, January of 25.
I don't think he's made a bad trade yet.
No, I don't think so. Now we'll see about the T'Vondre Sweat one. I am a little bit worried about the T'Vondre Sweat one, but we'll see how that goes.
How come you're worried about that?
I just the out of shape kind of things, and just some of the, like, he's not going to be an absolute not that he needs to be an every down player for the Jets, but like I do worry a little bit about a guy like that. I'm excited to see him pair up, but I feel like Jermaine Johnson, like especially back with Salah, is just he's gonna be better than he was for us last season. I mean, something that I always talk about, it's maybe not more T'Vondre Sweat, but it's more about Jermaine Johnson. Like, he only regressed because the defense got worse. And maybe he wasn't as good of a player these last 2 seasons, but when the defense gets worse around you, when you're on the field for more than you should be, you're going to get worse as a player. And I think with Tennessee, he'll just be a better player for them than he was for us last season.
I do agree with that. By the way, here, courtesy of Rich Cimini's X account, is the list of all the Muji trades that he has made. 13 player trades since last August. This obviously doesn't include the trades in the draft, where in his first draft, he moved up a couple times. And most recently, he moved up to get Omar Cooper, and he moved down and still came away with D'Angelo Pons, plus traded up for Kay Klubnik. So if you count some of the draft trades, the list of trades is more than just 13. But as far as these player trades here, I like pretty much all of them. The thought process makes sense to me for all that. Even getting something for Justin Fields is impressive, because we've seen this GM then take these late day 3 picks, 6th, 7th round picks. He's turned them into big players for the Jets, contributors. Harrison Phillips, Jawan Briggs, Jarvis Brownlee. They extracted as maximum of value as you can get for Sauce and Quinnen. So I have a lot of confidence in the Darren Muji thus far.
Yeah, I mean, we can't, I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't know if we can declare, right now on paper it looks great, but we can't declare the Sauce trade a win. We can't declare the Quinnen trade a win just yet until we see what we get out of those picks. I mean, the Jawan Briggs trade, it might be my favorite. I think he was probably the best player on this defense last year for the Jets, as sad as that is to say out loud. Phillips is awesome. He's going to be a great leader in that locker room. He has been a great leader in that locker room. I thought he might have left this offseason just based off the fact that, like, we're kind of rebuilding as a team. But yeah, overall, you look at that and looks pretty damn good to me from Muji so far. It feels like for the first time in a long time, we're finally garnering at least some respect towards our front office from people around the league.
And you know why that matters? Because if you're the Jets and Glenn doesn't work out and Muji is going to get a chance to hire a coach, he needs to have a strong reputation around the league for top candidates to take the Jets seriously as an option.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be every single time when the Jets fire a coach. It's like, well, who even wants that job? But at the end of the day, there's 32 of those jobs in the world, and it's the best job in football. So, like, somebody is going to take it, but you want to be the Jets. Let's say they move on from Glenn after the season. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't want it to. I hope I'm rooting for Glenn. I hope he does a great job this year and doesn't lose his job. But it's something that's in my mind right now a 50-50. If we were to move on, I want to be at the top of that list to where coaches around the league, coaching candidates around the league look at us and go, wait a minute, 3 first-rounders, Breece Hall, Garrett, you got your 2 starting outside tackles, you have some talent on the defensive side of the football. This is actually a pretty desirable job. I'm going to get to handpick my quarterback. I'm going to have picks to work with. I'm going to have a guy in Muji who seems like he knows what he's doing, and that's an important thing. Like, I don't want to be the 5th or 6th option for these top head coaching candidates. Like, I don't want to be shut out of certain guys.
Well said.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.